Hello and hi everyone and welcome. No, your cameras are not broken. Your dates are not screwed up. Nothing like that. I know I am VMuse. I'm normally here with you on Wednesdays for Mini Mayhem, but today it is Monday and I am here to bring you a very special live stream for HeroClix University with Professor Pena. So today is basically going to be a fun little Q&A session that we have going for you. But first, before we get into the questions that we've collected from you over the past week, I want to have some fun and introduce you to Professor Pena. Professor Pena, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, sir?
Hello, everyone. My name is Professor Pena. For knows Professor Pena. A little nervous. I'm sorry about that. But
It's
anyway,
totally
a
okay.
little bit about myself. Professor Pena. I've been here at WizKids for close to 3 years now. Been playing with HeroClix for close to almost a decade, a little bit more than a decade now. And some of you may know me. I am a two-time former national champion from a few years back. And I love HeroClix. I know you guys do too. That's probably why you're here. There's a lot of questions, and I'm hoping that I can provide some answers as well. And like V said, let's just get into it. Let's clarify some things. Let's talk about some things. Let's get excited about some things. I know I am. V, I can see you are as well.
Hi, it's me. So basically, what's happening today, folks, is we had some socials that went out last week asking you about questions in regards to certain things. The HeroClix team has worked very hard to collect these questions and come up with some answers for you. We had so many questions, there is absolutely no way we're going to get to them all today, but we're hoping to do another session, another round for you to answer further questions that we have on our list. But if you have questions while you're in the chat, we do have some staff on hand. So by all means, ask your question in the chat and hopefully someone will get to you. Worst case scenario, if we can't answer your question today, we're going to be going back into the chats and pulling those questions as well and getting answers to those, which we can hopefully address to you in a stream later down the line. But first of all, thank you so much for joining us. It's great to see all these lovely people jumping in on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch. Fantastic. Great to see. All that being said, let's get into the questions themselves. So we're going to start off first by talking about Silver Age. So first question, right out of the gate. What will in-store organized play look like later this year? Because that is a hot topic question.
Yes, it's been tough. It's been tough lately, and I know it's kind of been not existent at the moment. I there is we are looking to we are looking to do something later down the road with stores. Unfortunately, we don't have a hard answer yet. I wish I can give you something to cling on to that's a little bit more substantial, but please stay tuned. Announcements are coming soon. We're going to have more information later, but as of right now, it's still status quo as it is.
Yeah, so while you're waiting, don't forget you can always follow our socials if you haven't started to yet. There's actually this super easy link you can now click on. Go to that link. It'll take you to our Facebook. It'll take you to our Instagram. It'll take you to our Twitter. It'll take you to YouTube, Twitch, basically everywhere we exist right now. And that way, when we update you, when we know something is coming down the pipeline, you yourselves will know too. Which brings us to question number 2. Next one is, what events will you be pulling data from in order to curate the watch list for Silver Age?
We can't reveal our secrets like that.
Yes,
It's
you
like the
can.
FBI, you know.
Come on.
We no, we
Maybe just
have
a
our
little bit.
methods.
Just a little. Just a little.
Well, let's just say that we're always paying attention. There's always going to be some official events that we're running. There's sometimes some unofficial events that other players, other stores are doing. And that's been an uptick last year, considering that, everyone's had more time at home, wanting to play, unable to. So trust me, we pay attention. So we see things that are happening with that, big or small, and we take that into consideration. If there's something that's unhealthy going on, there's something that's just dominating that we're happy to see, or a storyline that's good, that feels good, we pay attention to it. All I can say is, as more Silver Age events are being played, whether they're official or unofficial, we will pay attention. We try to do our best to curate a watch list, a ban list from that, and we're always watching.
That's very Big Brother. They're always watching. Thank you for answering that one, because that was one that definitely was on everyone's mind. Let's see here.
It was, yeah.
Will there be plans for Silver Age World Championship or WKO, etc., once we return to having those events?
So the answer is yes. Unfortunately, there's a but. So right now, we still like the organized play thing. We still don't have any announcements right now. We want to. We know you want to. We want to support it. The other thing to think about, and I'll open up this to everyone, the behind the scenes a little bit. Events that we normally go to, we only have so many days. We only have so many hours to run qualifiers, the main event, side events, battle royales. If you really think about it, trying to cram it in, it's going to be very difficult. But trust me, effort's going to be made to do so in a way that feels streamlined, that people are not going to be compelled, forced to do it. It's going to be something that they want to do, have fun with it, with the appropriate support that comes along with it. So again, as we get more information, what we want to do with OP, with events, you could expect Silver Age to be a big part of that as well.
All right, great. Thank you. And again, for those of you who are jumping in and joining us, these are questions that we've collected over the past week and have pulled together responses to. If you do have questions, by all means, please feel free to ask in the chat. We have staff members who are keeping an eye on all the chats for Facebook, Twitter, or not Twitter, for Twitch and for YouTube. But for now, we are sticking to what we have gathered already. And thank you so much for answering that one as well, Professor Pena. This is another one that popped up in our frequently asked questions from last week. Why are Blackbird and Penguin banned? What happened?
What happened to them? So, Silver Age, fun. Blackbird and Penguin are banned, and it was a difficult decision to make. We normally don't ban things. This is a new format, but we kind of wanted to do it right. Unfortunately, Penguin is a character that has caused problems when it was in Modern Age. It's going to cause problems in the Silver Age. It's going to cause problems no matter what, just the way it interacts. And we are aware of that. It allows you to attack your own characters, which is something that is very, very uncommon in HeroClix. And there's a lot of ways to trigger some effects that normally would only happen if you attack the opposing characters. So we could do an errata. We could do all these little rulings per characters. That's a lot of information for any player, brand new or veteran, to keep up with. It is easier just to put him on the sideline for now. Maybe we come back to it. Just because he's banned doesn't mean he's not going to be unbanned. So I think a lot of people got scared that once he saw he was banned, that's it, he's gone, he's locked away, he's never coming out. That's not true. But at the moment, for the start, we're just going to keep him there. As far as the Blackbird is concerned, the Blackbird is another game element that was very, very effective and very powerful for the time it was around, especially with his interaction with the ID cards. V, I don't know if you're aware of this, but the ID cards were also put on the watch list for Silver Age. There's over, I want to say, 50 ID cards, one Blackbird. It was a lot easier just to put that on there. It interacts with another game element that was also powerful. So it's easier to take a look at the Blackbird itself, what we want to do with it, keep a close eye on the watch listed ID cards. As we come with the decision, also as we pay attention to see how things unfold, HeroClix team can make a more appropriate decision on what we want to do with them going forward, whether they stay banned, whether they come off the ban list or watch listed, whether we do something completely different, unique. So keep your eyes peeled. But to answer the question, that's the reason why those two game elements only were on the ban list for the start of the Silver Age format.
Okay, so it sounds like it's more like we're putting a pause button type of situation, take into account what's happening and everything like that.
Yeah, and we don't want people to panic. It's not like they never existed, but we just gotta play things through. We gotta see how it evolves.
Okay, totally fair. And ironically, someone has asked this, just saw that pop up in the chat, but we also had it as one of the frequently asked questions last week. When will the 2021 comprehensive rulebook be available?
So we have the core rulebook out. People can go online. People can take a look at it. You could also get the core rulebook as part of the Wonder Woman's miniature game that's going to be coming out late April, I believe April 28th. And we will have the comprehensive rulebook ready before then. So please, that's sooner than you think. That information will be available. So there's going to be a lot of questions that people have right now that will be answered by then. And I bet you there'll be some questions even after that. And that's what we're here for. We're here to help clarify. We're here to make sure things are understood. and that the voices are heard. And we want to make sure that if something is not easy or to understand, if the rulebook doesn't do it, we could try to do it in a more transparent and clear way.
Okay, great. Very good to know. Let me see here. Well, since we're still kind of going on it, let's stay with the organized play and rules. After Avengers, Fantastic Four, Empire, is there any other sets expected to release in 2021?
That's going to be a fun set, by the way. Looking forward to that. But we got Wonder Woman's another fun set. We have Empire. I believe we announced Rise and Fall already. And yes, there will be another set coming 2021. But I can't tell you what it is yet. And I'm sorry, guys. My lips are sealed.
Yeah, I mean, some things you gotta have to keep under lock and key for a little bit longer. Do we have a set date for when that comprehensive rulebook is going to come out? An exact date, or just for the release with Wonder Woman?
All I could say, it's going to be before it releases.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Keep in mind that a lot of times, and this is across the board, things happen in between going on in terms of, stuff getting to where it needs to be. So please bear with us as we keep to generalized estimates on release dates. That is honestly what is going on here. Okay. So let's go on with I like this one. When will the 2020 convention figures be released?
There is a plan. There was a plan. The plan got pulled. Now there's a new plan, and we're really trying. And I know some of you noticed, we had pictures of some of the convention exclusive last year, and then all of a sudden they became like a mystery. What happened to them? Even I was in the background of one of those photos for Master Mold. I didn't even know that photo was taken. I was caught by surprise. But let me tell you, there's a plan. They're coming out. I can't tell you what that plan is. You need to stay tuned, just like I told you with events, like I told you with organized play. Please stay tuned. They're on their way. Be patient.
Fair enough. Okay, now I'm going to just top the line a little bit because I know that this one keeps popping up too. So we're going into powers and abilities card for just a little bit, just a quick little hop, skip, jump. What does 1+ mean in Pulse Wave and Quake standard power? Do these standard powers always deal 1 and 2 damages respectively? So this was another one that kept kind of showing up on our gathering.
I saw this one a lot too. It's a fair question. Yep. I get it. If you see the 1+, that means 1 or more. So if you see that Kenny, when he targets 1+ characters, it's when I target 1 or more characters. Obviously, I'm not a HeroClix. I was just using myself as an example.
I mean, it could be fun.
So if you have, hopefully one day, you never know.
Hey.
But keeping that in mind, if with Pulse Wave, if you 1+, 1 or more. With Quake, 2+. Actually, that's not true. 1+, 1 or more. Pulse Wave will always deal 1 damage. With Quake, with the 2+, you will always deal 2 damage. So I know that answers that question where 1+ is 1 or more, 2+ is 2 or more. And yes, Pulse Wave always does 1. Quake will always do 2. Fun fact though, with the PAC, we did open it up with more powers and abilities to combo with one another. So there's other ways to have fun with that, not necessarily increasing damage, but to make it penetrating or other effects like that.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. So hopefully that helps clear things up a little bit for those of you who have been asking. Let me see here. So let's go back to the organized play and rules. Will the change to at no cost being dropped going forward but not changed into past pieces, will this be reconsidered now that these pieces will be legal in Silver Age?
So there's no blanket statement that I can provide. Some things will work if we do a blanket statement, some things won't. So I believe this is one of those things that it's going to be case by case scenario. And I don't think that's something that, a little unexpected to hear that. So we want to try to make everything work as closely as it did before. So if something did something at no cost and it was able to do it multiple times, we want to try to keep that going. If something did it the other way, we want to try to keep that going. And we just have to take a look at each individual figure, and if something does have to change, we might have to make that change. But we really want to keep the bulk of the characters that have this issue, or rather this that's not clear, to work as previously as intended. So keep an eye out. We do have the rules forum up. We will take a look into how to best present that information, figure by figure, set by set, if needed, if they're going to work as functioned before, if they're going to be slightly different, even if they get an errata. So it's a lot to keep a track of, but that's how we want to. That's the best answer I can provide when it comes to the at no cost versus free conversation.
Okay. Thank you for that one. So again, I'm just going to reiterate because it also brings us to a question that I'm seeing pop up both in our chats as well as beforehand. Why aren't we answering questions on the fly right now? A lot of it is because we wanted to make sure that the pertinent questions, the questions that people have been wanting to answer, are the ones that are getting answered. So we did do a post on our socials ahead of time to collect these questions and get some answers pulled together for you. However, that's not to say if you don't have a question, you can't ask it in the chat. By all means, go ahead and ask. We can always go back in. We'll be taking notes of the questions that people are answering. So I just want to make sure that those of you who are hanging out in the chat, you know what's going on. If you joined us after that whole big thing in the beginning, we have questions that were asked ahead of time. We're answering them today, but we are keeping an eye on the chat for other questions that are popping up for later dates. Okay, so now let's go back into powers and abilities card. When a character targets multiple adjacent opposing characters with a close attack, after determining which targets were hit, is the damage divided between the targets?
So that's something new that we're doing with the core rulebook. I love it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Range characters do that already. If I have 2 targets and I want to target A and B and I have 3 damage, I can say, hey, I hit you and I hit you. You take 3 damage, you take 1 damage. We're allowing the same thing for close combat pieces. So if they have, let's just say again, 4 damage and they hit 2 different characters, if I want to divide that up 2 and 2, or just say, hey, you take all 4, you take all 0, it's going to work exactly the way it did with range targets. So again, there's no tricks here, no funny business. It works exactly like it does with range target attacks. You can divide the damage how you want for each hit target.
Okay. All right, great. Okay, so now we're moving on to what's up with heavy objects and flyers. What's up with that?
Well, heavy objects, they're doing 1 damage, and I know that's a big change. It's different from before. And flyers right now, for a long time, they had a modification. If they were carrying characters, that is no longer the case. If I have a 10 movement character that wants to carry someone, they can move up to 10 squares.
Okay. All right.
Pretty simple, right?
I mean, straightforward, yeah. So this is sort of the last question we're going to address for today. There is no more clear squares requirement in barrier anymore. Can I place blocking terrain markers on water terrain?
So while using barrier, you can place blocking markers in water terrain. We're going to keep an eye on this. If it becomes something that gets out of hand, we will adjust it. We can take a look at it and see what the appropriate adjustment would be. But at the moment, yes, you can.
Okay. All right. Excellent. So what I wanted to do before we bring things to a close today, I wanted to give everyone a chance to get to know Professor Pena a little bit more as well. So I have a couple questions for you. What, in your experience, as having been a player, you said for almost over 10 years, correct? About 10 years?
Yep. Yeah, it's 2010.
Okay. So in all this time as you've been a player, what has been your favorite figure?
Oh boy, that's a tough one. Favorite figure all time. I gotta say one of the most fun figures I've ever played with. I want to say 2013. There was a Batman set called Streets of Gotham. There was a character named Calendar Man. I actually went on my way to win some local tournaments and regional tournaments with him. He had some effects that specifically worked depending on what season, what day. And just Calendar Man throwing off the trope that he works with in the Batman universe, and it was a lot of fun, a lot to keep up with, and I can understand how people got confused when they played it, but that was definitely one of the more fun figures to play with. In all my 10 years, that's definitely one of the top ones.
Okay. Did you have a figure that you I don't want to say hate. Hate is a strong word. But have you ever come across a figure
Hate is
where...
a very strong word.
It is a very strong word. But was there one that just ended up being in the back of your collection for you?
One that I heavily disliked?
Yes.
Yes, there were. I was never a big fan of Unimind, and that was a big figure in the scene from 2017, 2018. It was winning a lot of tournaments. A lot of people were playing it. It's very effective. It's very strong. Um, and it had a lot of things going on, a lot of things to keep track of. And it just doesn't fit my preferred play style. I have no, I can. If you tell me, hey, play a team that only has one figure, a one-man army, I could do it. I just don't think it's fun. And it's that's just my preference. Other people will have the complete opposite opinion of I am, and they're not wrong either. They think that's a blast. That's what they want to do. And that's the beauty of this game. You know, everyone should play the way they want to play. No one should feel like, hey, what you're doing is wrong, play my way, or what I'm doing, oh wow, what you're doing is wrong. Here, take a look at me. Everyone's right, everyone's wrong. Not everyone. Everyone is right to play what they want. No one's going to be wrong in doing so. It's all about community, having fun, and being a good sport about it. So yes, I had to play that figure a lot. And yeah, it wasn't the most fun experience, but you know what? When I got to beat it, I felt good about it. And when I got to lose to it, dust it off, move on to the next match, talk to the player. Hey man, good game. Best of luck to you. And that's what it's all about. It's all about the camaraderie, really.
Okay, great. I had to pick your mind a little bit with that one because I always get asked, what's your favorite mini? And for me, it's like, I could say Behold, but really it's an owlbear, but that's RPG side of things. Anyways, so yes, I'm seeing in the chats popping up people saying, is this going to be something that's going to happen more regularly? Are there plans to make this a weekly thing? This is something, in case you're joining us after the original introduction, this is something that we are hoping to bring to you from WizKids as a means to keep communication open between players, fans, as well as those on the HeroClix side of the WizKids team. So hopefully we will have this going for you again sometime in the near future, maybe in the next few weeks, once we have a chance to go through some more questions for you. We can have another HeroClix University with Professor Pena for you. But I want to say to everyone who has joined us in the chat, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Again, these questions were collected ahead of time. So this is one of those things where if you want to try and get a question answered, please be sure to follow us on our socials. This means Twitter, this means Instagram, this means Facebook. Whenever you see posts go up that say, hey, got a question about, that's where in the comments or the replies, please put your question and we'll do our best to collect and to see which ones are really the most relevant, are the ones that people are very much asking about at this time. Professor Pena, do you have a place that you would recommend for people to go to start getting into HeroClix to try and get a better idea of how the game is played, particular edition or anything like that, or not edition, game that you would say would be a great way to get started?
So I highly recommend, once it does become available, the Wonder Woman 80th anniversary minis game is probably going to be one of the better products when it comes to getting people to get started, learning how to play. And I know that's going to be in April, and we can't skip to the future. So let's look at what we have available. I do think one of the products that we have available right now is the Battlegrounds box set. It was the Avengers versus Master of Evil Battleground set. Has 10 characters in a split dial fashion, where there's like a beginner dial, there's somewhat of an intermediate dial. So you're essentially doubling what you can play with. Comes with the PAC, comes with the rule book, comes with scenarios. You get to play HeroClix. You can play the scenarios, which kind of mimics what a board game feels. So there's a lot of different ways you could absorb that information, have fun with it, and just continue to either grow your collection, move on. So I recommend that one. I recommend the Wonder Woman 80th anniversary. And as far as places to go, on HeroClix.com, we do have a rules tab that has all the rules information, the core rule book, the comprehensive rule book from the previous iteration, and pretty much anything that you would need to know rules wise would be found there. And that's that's probably, off the top of my head, the best places I can think of as far as information, which product to look into if you just want to get started rolling some dice and having some fun.
Okay, sounds great. And don't forget, you can always go over onto our YouTube channel and check out the Scott Porter unboxings of all of these aforementioned sets. Check things out in a little bit more detail and get a little bit more information from those. If it's a matter of you're looking to get these products, please, 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 always, 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 and this is something I say all the time, check with your friendly local game store first. See what's up with them, see what they have in stock on hand for you, or if you can place a pre-order with them. If you're not sure where a local game store is that carries WizKids products, all you need to do is go to wizkids.io/local store. You can plug in all your information. You can even put like how many miles you're willing to travel. Plug in information, click the search, it'll pull up stores for you in the area. Of course, right now we recommend that you give them a call, shoot them an email, find out what it is they are doing right now for hours of operation. Some stores are doing scheduled appointments. Some are doing curbside pickup. Some may be doing more online event-based things in terms of interaction. So just always check with the stores first. If you've gone and you've done all of that, friendly local game store isn't an option. Then you can always go to shop.wizkids.com to get started as your online options. And that, I think, pretty much covers the where and the how to find all of this. Again, don't forget, we do have Wonder Woman 80th anniversary. That is coming out in April, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. Again, check with your FLGS, check online for more information on those. And I just want to say, again, thank you to everyone who has been hanging out in the chat. It's been great to see the feedback. Remember, we take this all in mind when you let us know how things are going. And I appreciate that many of you are excited to see this. We are excited to do this for you. So hopefully, stay tuned. We'll have more of these in the future for you. So anything you would like to say to, I guess, before you dismiss the class, Teach?
Remember, guys, it's a game. Have fun. Sometimes things aren't super clear and easy, but trust me, we try to make that. We try to do that for everyone. We try to make that clear. But it's a game. We want to have fun. We want to play. There's so much to it. I can't hide how much I love this game, and I can't hide how much I appreciate everyone watching, commenting, giving the feedback. And I really do hope. I do look forward to doing this again, hopefully, and providing more questions, providing more answers to any of your questions. Be safe out there, and thanks for supporting, and thank you for watching. I really appreciate it.
Fantastic. Don't forget, you can also tune in to our channels and catch Much Ado About Gaming, which happens Tuesdays at 12 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, as well as Mini Mayhem with moi on Wednesdays, same time, 12 p.m. If you just want to see what's going on and happening in the lovely world of WizKids. So hopefully we'll see you over there on those shows as well. And until then, I'm going to wrap this up like I wrap up all the streams. Be good to yourselves and be good to each other. Take care, everyone. See you on the flip side. Bye.
Class dismissed.